Hello, hello, it's Simone. I'm here today with a Coco Daisy scrapbooking process, and today it is all about me. Yay! So the whole team is creating one layout about ourselves, and we all publish our layouts on the blog of the weekend of November 17 and 18. And so the challenge was to create a layout about ourselves. And I thought, why don't I scrapbook my profile photo? I have been using this photo for a long time. A friend of mine made it at another friend's house when we all met for the very first time because we are a bunch of online friends who never saw each other before, and so we met up. And there is a bird on my head, and immediately had the connection to the phrase that is used in Germany, that says it literally translates "you have a bird," but that's not what it means. It means you are a little crazy, you're a little cuckoo, something like that. So my idea was to make the title "you're a little cuckoo, you're a little nuts," and then find 5 things about me that are a little bit crazy. And here is my tip for you. If you ever, so the November Cocoa Daisy kits are very winter Christmas themed. And for a layout about me, talking about all the crazy things that I do have that are make me me, that was a little bit hard to create a layout that is not with snowflakes and winter. So what I did is I pulled out my box of packaging, and that you will see later on. I pulled out this, it looks like tissue paper, and then I pulled out this bag that was from, I think, a planner kit from Coco Daisy was actually packaged in this, a planner add-on kit. And I'm using this to back my photo because I am going layer crazy here. So I am using everything that I can get my hands on as a layer behind my photo. I want my photo to be the center focal point of my layout. And then I'm just going through all of the journaling cards from the pocket kit to see what would work with the photo and all the rest of the things. So I chose one of those quote of the day photo papers from the notepad that was in a pocket kit. I chose there was a journaling card that looked like, what is it, craft paper, like the music notes here. And there is a reason for why I chose those music notes, because I actually really pursued a musical career, if you might say that. So that is something that has something to do with me. Um, yeah, I thought it spoke to me. It worked with the color tone of the photo. And so since it had musical notes on it, I thought, well, it's perfect, isn't it? Because I was in choir, I played instruments, and I just love making music. So that's why I chose that specific pattern paper. Okay, where I was sidetracked. I created the title, and then I laid out those stars. Those are sequence stars, and my idea is now to create a layout where I have 5 bullet points, you can say, um, where I can place my 5 strange things. And I had the intention to have the photo in the top, on the top, and the stars underneath, but it didn't look good. So I decided I would just pull down my photo and put the title next to it and do the bullet points on top. So yeah, packaging can also be this um, beautiful card that you see on the laying on the layout right now. I just cut off the Coco Daisy strip, and it now works amazing again as a layering element for my photo. It just pulled in the colors that were on that one journaling card that stood out. And so, yeah. So now I'm looking for embellishments or more cards that I could add to my layers, because if I'm going to layer, I'm going to layer big time. I really liked that hard journaling card, and I actually also like that embellishment, which is pretty much the same, but the embellishment is a little bit too small, and the journaling card didn't really work. So you will see me actually use the day in the life card and create an embellishment from that. Okay, now I'm going to commit. I was thinking about using my sewing machine because that is another thing that I'm going to use um, later on um, to sew down the strip. But since I'm going to use all horizontal lines, I didn't want another stitching line down on the vertical, because that's just, I'm weird like that. Probably, let's just say I'm weird like that. Since I'm only stitching horizontally, I decided that I didn't want a vertical stitching line on my layout. And yeah, that is a design choice I made. So I used a washi tape roll to create a circle embellishment, and I didn't like that one either. But then I decided, why don't I just fussy cut the top of the hearts and have it like being on a line, being on a shelf, so to speak. And that I loved. So now I'm going to ruffle up the edges of the strips that I placed there. And then I'm going to add the hearts where I had them before. And then I'm going to stick down my photo cluster. I'm using the title on wax paper as a guide to where to place my photo cluster. And then I am going to through a lot of stress to stick down my letters. And yes, it is harder to stick down those letters than it is actually to stick down the thickers. It's easier. Using a ruler as a guide is much easier with those bigger letters, and then spacing the letters is easier. So I took a lot of time, and as you can see, I cut out most of it because it took me about 5 minutes to get it all right. So now I have this white space there, and I want something there because it just doesn't look right. So the title and the photo cluster make kind of like a horizontal line that counters the vertical line that is in the background. So I want something to connect the title and the photo cluster, but there's nothing that I really like. This is okay, but no, it looks like a stuck out middle finger when the rest of the things are covered. I really like those berries, but I don't like the branch. But I like that tag. So I'm going to add that tag, and I'm going to add the berry branch, and that is going to connect the both of um, the title and the photo cluster. Man, I can't think today. And then I'm committing because I like it, and then I'm going to move on to my journaling. So I spaced out the stars equally on the page, and I'm thinking about adding hearts because I have hearts there, maybe 3 hearts, but they are too big and they are not popping enough. So the hearts in this journaling card look actually much better, but they're too big. I would have loved to stagger them, but it didn't fit there. So I decide, okay, well, just stick down one of the stars and then call it quits. If you watched my process video from last week, or from Tuesday, you can actually see that I used those 3 red hearts that I punched from the journaling card on that layout. So they didn't go to waste. I used them. And then I realized that if I ruffle up the edges of the background, maybe I should be consistent and ruffle up the edges of my photo cluster. And I really love that. I pulled out my preparation sheet, my brainstorming sheet for my layouts, and then I am going to uh, add all of those points. So the first one is I count everything. I count when I cut cucumbers, I count steps when I'm walking upstairs. The second one is I collect stamps since I'm 8 years old. The third and the fourth are actually connected, which is I talk to myself all the time. And the fourth one is that's why I cannot listen to music because it's already very loud in my head. And I cannot remember the fifth one. I have to look that one up. And I just looked it up, and it is that I'm always, always cold. Even in the summer, I'm always bringing a jacket. And yeah, so if you're wondering why you are seeing this video uploaded again, it is because I didn't switch on the microphone when I voice over the last part of this video, and it didn't record. So I had to do it over one more time. And I am adding a subtitle to the title, which is 5 things about me. I hadn't originally planned to add it there, but I thought that the black writing in the top part of the layout needed a counterpart at the bottom. And so just adding this subtitle with my own handwriting was an easy way to bring some black lettering down there. And now what I'm doing is I am adding washi tape to the back of the layout. I'm not really concerned of the threads unraveling. I'm just doing this because I see it everybody else doing it. But I'm a sewer, and I don't really think that in a page protector the thread comes undone. But yeah, now that I thought about it, I probably won't do it ever again. So I think it's done. This is the finished layout. And nothing more that I could or should do to it. Or yes, I'm going to add a date, which is November 2017. And here are some close-ups, the title, and my points. I added some gemstones in the middle. There was a gap that I didn't really like. And then the ruffled up edges of the photo cluster. So now I'm done. Here are a couple of more process videos on screen for you to keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I will see you next time. Until then, bye.